We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc in theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 90 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. I can't believe I just said that number. That is a very large number. 90 if you're French and you prefer.
Oh, there's definitely no French people listening to this.
Just, hey, we never know when our listenership is going to spike, so I like to say we just keep ourselves on our toes.
They're welcome, but I don't think they're listening.
On this week's episode, we're going to talk about arguably everyone's favorite Disney-affiliated studio, Pixar.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about what we watched this week, and it might include some Pixar films, and then we're all going to go home.
Wait, we're already home.
Man,
At your house?
Why do you... Yes, Josephine.
Ruin the ambiance.
Why you gotta ruin the mystery of radio?
Because it's a podcast.
Maybe we're not all at home.
This is the internet. We have to tell the truth. Nowhere else does.
Maybe we're all...
Home is where the heart is.
Maybe we all meet every week at a undisclosed location somewhere in eastern Ontario, because that seems central, and record all these episodes in bulk.
You mean the Starbucks in Peterborough?
Yeah, nobody would know, right? Except for the people at the Starbucks in Peterborough, and they're all on something. So, like,
They're getting paid hush money.
exactly.
Not by us, but
How
by
else
somebody.
How else are they gonna buy their drugs?
They're actually very nice people. I met them one time.
I was gonna say that's an interesting thing for myself to say, since I've never been to the Starbucks in Peterborough
Or done drugs.
or done drugs, so I can't really
Comment on either.
I'm not really qualified to pass social commentary towards the Starbucks in Peterborough or drugs. Although I did read an article in the Beaverton one time about how people continue to wake up in Peterborough after a night of blackout drinking, and that pretty much
And they made money.
That pretty much sums up my experience in Peterborough, minus the blackout drinking.
That's fair.
Anyway.
Have you tried mixing daiquiris with Ambien?
It
does not work.
And now we've officially digressed all the way to a John Mulaney joke, which happens.
Always.
So,
Good way to start it. What is your guys' number one Pixar movie? Pixar in. Hit me with it.
I'm gonna go with a movie I haven't seen in a really long time. I'm gonna go with Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. Wow. Sneaking in
call.
under the radar. I didn't see that coming.
That'd be my top. That'd probably be number 3 on my list.
Monsters, Inc. is a pretty sweet movie. It was... It was weirdly groundbreaking in being like hey, don't listen to all stereotypes.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it that way, but I just enjoyed it because I thought it was funny.
Look me in my radio eyes and tell me that it doesn't kind of have that.
Well, I haven't seen this since I was a kid, to be honest.
It's
So like I said, I really can't speak to I'll agree. I'm not disagreeing. I don't know the examples you're speaking of, to be honest.
I would say it's the first one on this list that I remember it coming out. So that's probably part of the allure.
That helps, yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
And since it came out in 2001, and I wouldn't have seen it until it came out to VHS in probably...
For those of you who don't know what those are,
2002.
how are you listening to this podcast right now? Who's allowing you? Don't we have, a mature rating?
We do. We have an explicit E on most.
Yeah. So why are you listening to this if you don't know what a VHS is?
So early to mid 2002 would probably be the first time I saw that. So almost 10 years old at that point, like 9, technically 8, I guess.
Math.
Yep. Watching that movie, so that'd be the first time I remember. That's definitely the first movie I memorized whole scenes of.
Which scenes, Craig? Tell us the scenes.
The scene with the abominable snowman in the
Hey!
in the
guy who's voiced by Ham.
Exactly. And he's talking about who wants snow cones. That is the scene I memorized from top to bottom. I can't do it anymore.
I want to hear you do the voices, though.
I couldn't do the voices, but I knew word for word and the pacing the entire way through. Back when I was a young lad. But all right, so we've talked about my favorite movie. Did we talk about other people's favorite movie?
No,
we did not. Scott, what's yours?
Mine would be Toy Story. It's kind of a little bit cliche, but it was definitely the one that I was most attached to my childhood. I dressed up as Buzz at least 4 years of, between like 4 to 8, definitely, probably somewhere in there. I don't know, that math doesn't probably add up correctly, but anyways. But yeah, I really enjoyed that when I was younger. I just loved the dynamic between the two main characters, Woody, who's kind of like stuck up, and then, delusional Buzz coming in thinking he's a natural, space what is it? Like space
Ranger,
that's the word I was looking for. I didn't want to say I didn't want to say like police officer, but yeah, Ranger.
No, he is a space ranger.
Yeah. Obviously, I haven't seen these in a while because they make me slightly emotional. They bring me back to my childhood in a weird way.
Yeah, but
You've Got a Friend in Me song.
Childhood movies that make you cry are the best.
That's definitely why Toy Story's up there. It makes me tear up a little bit. The You Got a Friend in Me song always gets to me anytime I hear it. It takes me back to those two. Freaking Andy flying them around the freaking bedroom. It's ridiculous, but, that's how nostalgia works. So that's definitely
Wall-E makes me feel the same way. Like, anytime Wall-E gets, big eyes, I'm like, fuck you, Wall-E, man. Why you gotta have emotions as a robot? Eva. God damn it.
So is Wall-E your number one, then?
Oh, fuck no. See, I'm torn. I'm between A Bug's Life.
Bug's Life's a great
because that was kind of like Craig. That was, the first movie that I, distinctly remember,
That's the first one I remember seeing
scenes from. But also that's because that's the first Pixar movie that came out in our lives where we could function and understand things.
Yeah.
Toy Story doesn't really count because it was 95.
Yeah, we wouldn't have seen that in theaters.
Scott, we were 2.5.
Yeah.
Craig, you're 2.25.
I definitely grew up with Toy Story, not saw it in theaters. But I do remember, I'm pretty sure I saw A Bug's Life, either that or Ants in theaters.
Those are two very different movies.
They are and aren't. They're both insect movies.
Okay, they're about insects. Their stories are extremely different, though, outside of the worker guy falling in love with royalty.
I just remember one of the first movies I saw with my aunt and uncle in the theaters was one of those two. I just remember it being one of the bug movies. I just don't remember.
Were the bugs creepy looking or were they adorable? Because those of Bug's Life characters are the cutest.
Yes, the Bug's Life characters are definitely cuter, and I think it was a Bug's Life because I think I had probably the Happy Meal toys as well. But I don't remember 98 that well, so I can't tell.
Was it Sylvester Stallone who was in Ants?
I believe
as the big, it's great. The big jacked one.
I believe so.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep on digging. It's great.
Yes.
But it's either A Bug's Life or The Incredibles, because The Incredibles.
That's number 2 on my list.
Holds it near and dear in my heart forever.
That would be number 2 on my list as well.
So I think we can all agree on that one being probably one of the best.
Consensus number 2 across the board. Did not see that coming.
No, come on, it's the superhero one. That's why it got my vote right away. It was one of the first not DC superhero things I ever experienced. Actually, not DC or Marvel ones that I ever experienced that I can think of off the top of my head. It was cool because it was Disney doing some superheroes. So
yeah,
they were kind of a ripoff of the Fantastic Four, but that's fine by me. I'm cool with ripoffs.
Yeah, but they were way cooler.
I grew up poor. We had so much ripoff shit.
That's how you do it.
I didn't have no starter jacket.
I had the Incredibles jacket.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah. Ooh. I see what you did there.
I thought you would go there.
No. I didn't think of it.
Not this time.
No.
Anyways, I saw that you watched The Incredibles 2, though. Where does that rank for you?
On my list?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta be honest. It's gonna be near the middle to the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's just because so many of the other Pixar movies are nostalgia picks.
Oh, that's fair. That's
Exactly.
true.
Like, it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just the other ones are just so...
That's interesting. So like there's no recency. Like the recency bias is like outweighed by the nostalgia of it.
Well, see,
are any of us on this podcast actually affected by the recency bias, though?
I
don't think I am.
In a lot of cases, I would be.
But in franchises, I can be.
In the case of Incredibles 2, the recency bias gets thrown entirely out the window by the fact that I've seen it 400 billion times since it got released to Netflix.
Sounds like you're calling a certain little child out.
He's an adorable 7-year-old, but he really liked Incredibles 2.
And it's on Netflix, so.
It's on Netflix, so it got played a lot. Hasn't in a while. So I liked it the first time through.
Knock on wood.
And the second time through and the third time through. But the fourth time through that day was when I kind of... It lost its shine, shall we say.
That's understandable. Yeah. Definitely had those types of movies happen.
Okay, well, while we're talking about things getting negative, like hitting that negative review, what are our least favorites? Because let's be real, Toys, like, everything up until probably like 2010, outside of maybe 2 of them, I'm sure we all appreciate. That's being Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars is a question mark, Ratatouille is a question mark, WALL-E's fantastic, Up, depending on your emotional state, Toy Story 3. Like, 2 or 3 out of those are question marks. The rest are all stellar.
Yeah, I can't argue with most of those. The ones that I haven't seen a couple of these. That's all it comes down to. So like Up, I've never seen. WALL-E, I haven't seen.
Up never did it for me. I never fully understood why people were like creaming their pants for it.
It doesn't sound like an appealing story to me. Like it's about this old guy who's like in mourning the whole time, and about like how I get how it's about him maybe like rediscovering joy in life, but it's still a dude in mourning. So that part, like that's the part that like gets me. I'm like I get it. Like
why'd you turn it into a kids movie? That's my thing.
Exactly. But I also kind of get it. Those types of things do help kids learn about death and acceptance and stuff like that. So I just haven't seen it though. So
I like Up. I also like Cars more.
Cars did it for me when I was younger, but in retrospect now, outside of Owen Wilson, I can't sign off on it. Like Larry the fucking Cable Guy, excuse me, don't associate him with my shit.
See, I think he fits that role though. Which I can't believe we're discussing the intricacies of casting in a Pixar film.
Get rid of.
But this is how far the movie the podcast has come.
Yes.
We're now
nitpicking over voice casting.
Art critics.
We're trying to be at least.
Yeah. No. Other ones that I put on my list of movies that I like. I try to avoid talking about sequels because I don't necessarily agree with them, but can't disagree with them at the same time. If that makes sense.
I kind of get what you mean.
So the only other one that's on my list of movies by Pixar that I enjoyed, that isn't a sequel, and we haven't talked about, would be Inside Out.
I've yet to watch that, but I've only heard like great things about it. But
I like that movie. I thought it was an interesting thing that they did.
I like the idea of like conflicting, of literally being a movie about conflicting emotions.
Yeah, and about how people kind of hope somebody would deal with that.
Yeah,
and I like the way they characterized it.
Yeah, there's bits and pieces I liked, and there's also a lot where I'm kind of like regret seeing that at the drive-in. But I also regret watching The Good Dinosaur because that movie just is straight up sad.
I never saw it.
I think that's actually the worst rated.
Do you want me to ruin this for you, Craig?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's a family of dinosaurs.
Yep.
Big old brontosauruses or brachiosauruses or some form of Littlefoot long neck, right?
I'm on board.
Okay. The little kid dinosaur is like the main character of this. Pops dies. Surprise!
Yeah.
Pops dies like 5 fucking minutes into the thing. And you're like, what? Like, they didn't even do this in, like, this fast in The Land Before Time. Like, they waited half a movie before they killed his mom. Like, they took their sweet ass time. This one, they're like, no, let's murder this guy. So they do. And then he's kind of bummed out. And then he ends up, if I remember correctly, that's when he meets his pet human. Which is, this thing is like a dog. It's a Neanderthal like a dog. Which, right off the hop, they weren't around at the same time. So, what the fuck are you doing? Come on, Pixar. Don't lie to kids, okay? Just don't be like, oh yeah, dinosaurs and humans were together. Get the fuck out of here. No. So moving on from this evolutionary issue, you go through the story of like how he's trying to get home because he's lost. Like him and his pet human are lost. And then there's a scene in it where like he meets his dad again. Like dad's alive, life is good because he's stuck in like these weird spider webs, and Pop saves him. And then he's like, come on, son, we're going home. So he's walking home, and then he looks down and sees Pop's not leaving any footprints. This is like a fever dream because Dad's still dead. Yeah. Just in case that wound had started to scab up, they're like, nope, fucking ripped it off again.
Didn't that happen in Lion King though as well? It doesn't.
And Lion King didn't fuck me up as much. I was in a dark place when I watched this movie though.
That's fair.
So that might have been why I was super emotional and angry at the television. But also at the same time, maybe let's stop killing people's parents in movies. Like,
it's reality. We're talking about representation.
Yeah, Craig, but you're also saying that to the only one who represents that group of people.
Yeah, man. Know your audience, Craig.
I'm just saying the movie was made
Thanks,
for
God,
you,
I
man.
appreciate you. I appreciate you having my back on that.
The movie was made for you.
And I didn't like it. I love dinosaurs. Not a huge fan of parents dying, but also whatever.
Who is a fan of parents dying, though? I could see being a fan of the whole brother dying thing.
I guess I... Reverse Ray joke. I like it. I guess you didn't see Brightburn then, eh?
No.
Well then. Lots of murder in that one. But no, like, it's just such a depressing movie. And I don't know when it became, like, the norm to be like, let's just make shit kind of sad.
Well, Pixar has a little bit of a...
Because that's what people want.
That is a little bit of...
Their demographic wants that.
Okay, don't put out sad movies when I'm going through sad times.
They don't know.
They should call me. I own most of these movies.
They don't care.
Well, that's not true. Disney
Did you get their money? Did they get your money?
I don't want to say yes.
They just wanted your money.
He did just say he owns them all on DVD, though.
See, they already got your money.
Yeah, so they should be like, you know what? This guy owns most of our stuff. He's been a lifelong fan. Let's just send him a tweet. Let's DM him on Instagram and be like, hey, you feeling okay this month? Because we're going to release this. I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to give you Cars 3. And I'll be like, no. Don't ever do that.
Well, that happened in 2017.
That already happened.
So you're safe.
Fucking
I didn't
Cars
care
3.
for the sequels, if that makes you feel any better about my...
like, for all of them, or you mean just, like, Cars?
Cars. I didn't see Cars 2 or 3.
I haven't watched any of the Cars.
Here's my question. Okay, The Incredibles came out in 2004. Cars came out in 2006.
Yeah.
The Incredibles got their sequel in 2018.
Yep.
Cars got 2 fucking sequels?
Yeah, I can tell you why that happened.
Because they made a ton of money on toys.
Yes, they did. It's like the best.
Why weren't people buying? Why
Because
weren't people buying
people
Incredibles
buy
stuff?
Cars anyway. So now all they had to do was
This
buy.
this is the patriarchy. This is the evil. No, that's not what it is. I'm not supporting my.
It's kind of the opposite of that.
I'm calling bullshit on my thing.
I think Cars are a little more gender neutral. That's probably why they're a little bit more like, oh, you can buy this for your son or daughter or gender fluid child.
People like look at Cars turned into planes indirectly.
Yeah, indirectly.
And then you had
stupid.
So then you had the Planes movies, and then you had multiple Cars movies and multiple kids series based on Cars.
Yeah.
And multiple kids series based on planes. Like they made
I don't
a ton
remember
of
being
movies
that into Cars. Like I don't remember it doing anything for me. outside of like
2006
laughing.
is too late for you, though.
Yeah, no,
You're
it's
13.
I don't think it's too late for me because I I just watched Beast Wars this weekend,
yeah,
dude.
but at 13, you weren't their target at all.
yeah. That's why Cars
we weren't
didn't
really their
hit it for me.
target. You'd watch the movie and be like, this is all right, but all the kids are like,
I'm not sure I'm the
McQueen's
target market
amazing.
for anything though.
You were the target
Like
market.
I sure
for
shit
Good
ain't the target
Dinosaur.
market for DC movies now. That's for sure.
You don't like artistic integrity and dark shots?
I exclusively like that. But they've changed what they're doing.
Are they adding color now?
Too much color.
Okay, so let's just go sideways off of Pixar for a second. I think it would be super cool if DC did a movie in black and white.
Like Logan's re-release in black and white.
Kind of, except that's how the movie was intended. It was.
I would be
filmed
super on board for like Batman
entirely-
Year One in black and white.
entirely filmed in black and white, never released in color, no colorization even like available. This is how we do the film.
I would be super on board for that,
Just
or like a Jonah Hex Western movie in black and white that kind of fits into it.
Gotta lean into the art house garbage.
Yeah, I'd be on board for a handful of those.
Yeah, I'd watch.
Not a handful, just like one or two. I'd say one.
I don't have big hands, dude.
Otherwise, it makes it a gimmick.
That's true. Otherwise, it becomes the post-credit scenes.
But you do it once, and everybody else will be like, "Holy shit!"
Black and
And
white's
then
back.
they'll do it, and then you'll be the ones that started the gimmick, and everybody else will be tired of it, and they'll be like, "Nobody did it as good as DC did it," and it'll be amazing.
You fucking listening, Warner Brothers? You got your ears to the pod right now.
There you go. I've just rescued.
Craig
the
just
DC
solved
universe.
Warner Brothers.
You have to pick the right movie, though.
Batman Year One. I'm telling
There's
you.
no doing Aquaman 2 in black and white.
No, it's got to be
Alright.
like an. It's got to be an.
That'd be
not
the
an
worst
original
of all
story.
the choices
but
you could pick.
That's why I said it.
No, it's
Gray
definitely got to
underwater.
be the beginning of like a solo flick. Kind of probably a standalone movie. I don't think it could be part of the franchise.
Don't
Oh,
even
no,
bother.
definitely.
Just make
Yeah.
one. That's all you need. Just the one.
Here we go. You ready? The Spectre, because that would be fucking tight in black and white.
Is that DC owned?
That's the Spectre.
Yeah. I just wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I get him and.
Yeah, he's the green flying dude who like destroys evil.
Gotcha.
He's like
yeah.
kind of like a phantasm type thing.
Yeah, no, I just get him and like a couple of the other ones that are like that generation, like that Dark Man and what's the other one? The Shadow mixed up.
Yeah.
Could you do that in black and white? That seems really detailed to do in black and white. Spectre. I'm just looking at pictures.
Spectre, outside of the fact that he's green, but you could always just like add like one little pop of green element to it. Like make like his cloak green and everything else black and white. Or have like a streak of green on
Kind of
him.
like Sin City had black, white, and then red.
Yeah. Yellow, yeah.
Yeah, but then you're
And
doing
they
it
had yellow
like,
too. I forgot about
You're
that.
doing it like somebody else did it, though. I'm saying just go straight black and white.
Okay, so we can't do the Spectre then.
I think
I don't-
Batman would be the best
I
choice.
think Batman would
Batman
be,
Year One, that's what I said.
Batman would be your best choice.
And since
But
he's
then
got like
people are going to be like, they've done so many freaking Batman movies. You're making another one?
And then I'd be
You
like,
can make the same argument
yeah.
for Spider-Man because they've made 1.5 billion Spider-Man movies,
Yeah.
and they finally did one worth watching.
Spider-Man 2?
no, he liked the Into the Spider-Verse, I think.
Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
honestly. That was the one they did differently. Everything else is pretty much
Yeah.
the same. Everything else is the same. But
Yeah,
Spider-Verse
we got super sidetracked off
that
this.
was, yeah.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see a Pixar version of The Brave Little Toaster. Because I'm looking at this, I'm thinking Wall-E was kind of close. He was a little robot.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, I'm like, I'm sure they've got it close yet. I've never seen
Yeah.
Wall-E, so I don't know how close it fits story-wise, but look-wise.
Story-wise, not at all.
Merch-wise. Merch-wise, it's a close fit.
If I had a child under the age of 4, you bet your ass he would have a blanket, he would have a toaster, and he would definitely have a radio. Okay? The vacuum's questionable. He's kind of an aggressive character. Not sure I
Yeah.
want that negativity around my child. But
Understandable.
who else was there? Oh, the lamp. The lamp was kind of snarky. I would probably buy that as like a prop and just leave it on like the nightstand.
Yeah.
As a lamp.
Yeah, because little Newman does not need to be like put around more jokes than he's going to be around with me.
Little Newman. Oh my gosh.
Wait, Newton Exton? Exton?
You say Newton?
Newman.
Newman Exton?
Yeah. Why not?
Just checking.
Yeah.
Just
I
making
mean, I
sure
just yanked that off this page because we got Randy Newman, we got Thomas Newman, we got
That's
Newman
their
from
last
last week.
names.
Yeah.
You want to go
So, Robert Downey Jr. named his kid Exton. Sometimes last names are first names.
So then maybe you need to make...
Your kid's first name, Robert Downey Jr.
Whoa.
Yeah, see, I like that. Or just RDJ.
RDJE.
No, RDJ Exton.
You know what?
Like it's
I'm
not
not even
spelled
sure. I'm
out.
not even sure I could put Exton attached to it though. Like, I'm not even sure I'd be able to give it my name.
I think you'd have to.
You don't know me.
Well, that's a discussion you have with the person you're having the child.
Newman
with, actually.
Days sounds a little bit better than Newman Exton. Newman Exton sounds like a law firm. Newman Days just sounds like a real happy child.
Well, that's another tangent. Dude, I feel like we're done with Pixar then.
Finding Dory was a pretty sweet
It was not
repeat.
Finding
I'm just
Nemo,
gonna say
though.
that. No, well, I can never watch Finding Nemo again. Emotions, but actually, no, I don't even think I could watch Finding Dory again because of emotions. Fucking cats, dude.
I have a Finding Nemo story for being told after the pod.
Okay,
I feel
I've
like
got
you
a
have to write
sad
that
one
down.
that I'm not gonna tell.
I'm just gonna tease that one. I can't remember if I've told it.
Did you guys ever watch Coco?
No, I haven't.
I've
got to watch
heard
it yet.
I've heard
Zach
mixed reviews.
absolutely loves Coco.
I've heard great things about it. I just haven't gotten. Like I know it's on Netflix, but I don't watch many animateds anymore. Like just.
Yeah, see, it doesn't
but
look
your
like
house
something
is
I
the
want to
perfect
watch.
place to watch the animated children's film because you won't get judged for being there.
Well, no, I just don't want to. I just have no interest in a lot of them. Because like a lot of kids' movies, one thing is like they have these lessons that they're trying to impart on children, and for me sometimes it feels slightly heavy-handed because it is a kids movie. It's for kids to understand, so it's just hard for me to. And Pixar does do a great job of balancing that for the adults watching. It's just
Coco is further about death than.
Yeah, that's
Good
another reason.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, it's straight up just like it came out at a not great time for me. So I'll take Exton's thing on that. So that's where I haven't gotten to it yet either.
Damn
but I've
right,
been meaning
man.
to because I heard
It
great
has-
things.
Sad
about it.
things coming out at sad times sucks.
Yeah.
It has a
Yes.
97% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 94% audience score.
Yeah, no, like I said, it like I've heard only good things about it, and I've been meaning to watch it. The only like negative thing that came out during its like run in theaters was that people didn't like that they put such a long Pixar short in front of it because it was like a 15-minute Frozen one that was in front of Coco, and that's what all the outrage was
Oh,
about.
just them
They were
trying
like,
to capitalize off people like loving Frozen, eh?
Well, it was just too long. Like you got a bunch of kids in there ready to watch a Coco movie, and you're giving them 15 minutes of Frozen before it. They don't have attention spans for that kind of thing.
That's fair. That's fair. That's why you got to give them Finding Dory and then just front load that with the cutest little fucking swimming bird thing that's out there trying to get stuff. Oh, that was so cute. Or you front load The Incredibles 2 with a super adorable little dumpling baby in Toronto.
Yeah, I still haven't seen either of those either.
Shoutouts to Canada.
I pretty much haven't watched a Pixar movie since let's see, I gotta do a quick check. Oh wow, this is further back than I thought. Toy
Don't
Story
say it.
3. Toy Story 3. So
Hot damn.
2010, and then
2010.
before
Hot
that would have
damn.
been Ratatouille, and then it was like
Ratatouille sucked.
I didn't mind
Ooh,
Ratatouille.
ugh. That was
Mind Ratatouille
terrible.
Either.
I thought it was
It was
okay.
terrible.
I haven't rewatched it, so that says what it says about that. Haven't seen Cars. Incredibles I've definitely rewatched since seeing it when I was younger, so that's probably, yeah, and then just Toy Stories, yeah. So yeah, Toy Story is the only thing that keeps me around for Pixar anymore, it seems. I do want to watch The Incredibles too, though, and I'll get to Coco eventually as well.
So just before we move on, any guess at the top rated on Rotten Tomatoes for Pixar movies?
I think it might be Coco now you said it. I would have guessed Toy Story originally.
Okay, so 2 movies have 100% rating.
Hold up, isn't it Toy Story and like Toy Story 2? And then Toy Story 3 came in like 1% under or something like that?
So Toy Story and Toy Story 2 have 100%. Finding Nemo's 99. Toy Story 4 has 98. Inside Out is 98. Toy Story 3 is 98. Up is 98. Coco is 97. The Incredibles is 97. Ratatouille 96. Monsters Inc. 96. WALL-E 95. Incredibles 2 94. Finding Dory 94. A Bug's Life 92. Monsters University 80. Brave 70.
Wow, that's a huge
jump.
drop.
Yeah, there's a big
Jesus.
jump, eh? Brave is 79%, which is a movie we didn't even talk about.
I saw Brave for the first time on Thanksgiving last
year,
year.
And the hair is overly animated for me.
See, I think for me, I saw it, but I didn't understand a goddamn thing.
Because isn't it like taking place in Scotland or Ireland?
Oh, it's a heavy Scottish accent.
Yeah, I thought so. That's what I've heard about.
It has Billy Connolly in it, who's a Scottish comedian as well.
The story was fantastic. I just couldn't understand things.
Yeah.
Mom turns into a bear. Go Bears.
I don't remember any of the plot line. I just remember that the hair was really animated.
All I know about it is that her character was added into Once Upon a Time. And her father turned into a bear in that one.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
Good Dinosaur, 76%. Cars, 75%.
Hold up, the original Cars is that low?
75. Cars 3, 69. You want to guess what? Well, I guess we've kind of hit the
Cars
bottom
2.
of the list. So there's one left.
Cars 2.
Cars 2. Do you want to guess what what the tomato rating is on that one?
Okay, so 69 was the last one.
69% was Cars 3.
I'm thinking low 50s. It's either low 50s or high 40s. Like, it's going to be a steep drop off.
Scott, do you have a vote?
55 just to break the...
38.
Oh,
what?
That's rough.
Jesus.
Cars 2 got crushed. The critics
and yet it's still got a third one. Is this? Oh, this is the one where they go like undercover or something. Isn't it like the secret agency?
I don't think so.
No, that's the
Cars
third one.
2
Yeah.
is as visually
it's the European one.
as any other Pixar production, but all that dazzle can't disguise the rusty storytelling under the hood.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah, here we go. I forgot that Eddie Izzard was in this. In the film, race car Lightning McQueen and tow truck Mater head to Japan and Europe to compete in the World Grand Prix.
Right.
But Mater becomes sidetracked with international espionage.
That's why that movie sucked, because it was terrible.
Yeah, I'm looking on IMDb. It's also the lowest rated on IMDb and Metacritic. So it's definitely just all around considered the worst Pixar movie. And I haven't seen it, so I'll just agree with that, to be honest.
I definitely have seen it. I did not remember any of the fine plot points, obviously. But on a side note, I'm reading a College Humor article about how the Brave Little Toaster is actually a kitted up version of a really bad horror movie.
Really?
Which one's a kitted up for? Which one?
The Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, I fucking love that
It's
movie.
just it's satire, I believe.
Uh,
They're taking everything and blowing it out of proportion. It's
like every children's show that ever came out ever is actually like the animators or the story writers actually telling like a really dark story. Like the Rugrats, they're all actually dead, and Angelica's like doesn't know who's who because like get the fuck out of here. Do you really think that people are that fucked up?
That's so fucking dark. If all those kids were dead for all those
Yeah,
seasons.
or like the SpongeBob being like
They got sequels
at
for
the
God's
bottom
sakes.
being at the bottom of the ocean for like nuke stuff. Yeah, like the Rugrats got grown up.
Yeah.
Like they actually got like the teenager versions.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw that. I that was definitely one of the last animated series I ever watched as a kid. Like growing up, I remember that was one of the last ones like I committed to watching on Saturday mornings.
yeah. Like what's next? The Weekenders? Like you never actually see most of the parents because they're not there. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I gotta Google it. We should do an episode about that though, like TV conspiracy theory.
Oh, I would love to go through a bunch of like movie and TV conspiracy theories and just shit on them all. So I love shitting
I'm
on
down.
conspiracy
I think we
theories.
just found next week, guys.
Oh, cool. That saves me having to ask after.
Problem solved. So, anything else to add about the Pixar films?
I don't have anything
Not
else
that I
to
can
say.
think
Like
of.
I said,
No.
I haven't watched half of them, so
That's fair enough.
it's funny that I'm the one who's seen. Not that funny, I guess, but I have seen the least, I guess, out of all of us, all the Pixars.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I guess it does.
That's the kind of thing that would be in Scott's wheelhouse. So, Scott, then, what did you watch this week? Obviously, it wasn't Pixar films.
No, definitely not. None whatsoever. What I did watch this week was I wrote down. I watched the Triple Plaza, which isn't actually a movie. It's the name of 3 things I watched. Can you guys guess
Oh shit!
what I'm referring to when I say Triple Plaza?
Is that Die Hard?
No, it's an actress's name.
Oh, is it Aubrey Plaza?
Yes, so I watched 3 things with Audrey Plaza. Do you guys want to
Okay.
guess what the 3 things? Any of the 3 things
Did-
are? Not
did you
Parks and
go
Rec,
s-
just to throw it out
Did
there.
you go see Chucky?
I saw the new Chucky. Yes, Child's
Okay.
Play.
Did you watch? Was it Bad Grandpa or
No,
Dirty Grandpa?
no.
Well, now I gotta pull up her IMDb page.
Well,
Alright.
she was on Hot Ones. and
There
I
you
get to
go. You
watch
got
it.
number 2.
Okay.
So we got 2 of the things down for my list.
We
So
just
yeah.
gotta put on record that she's a smoke show.
Oh, I
okay?
love her.
And she just seems like the nicest person in real life.
Yes.
She does, even though she's super weird.
Super weird, but I'm okay with that. She seems so nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think it was gonna be Criminal Minds.
No.
It's gonna be something more recent.
Yep, I did talk about this show as well last week.
Oh, Legion.
There you go. Yes.
I don't know how the fuck I didn't think about that.
I don't know
Which
either.
one was it? I didn't hear Andrew. He
Legion.
cut out. Okay.
Yes, Legion. So yeah, those are the 3 things I watched. The Triple Plaza. So I checked out the new Child's Play, the Chucky movie. It was meh. It was a horror film. Like I felt like this was written by somebody who had this as an assignment in high school. Like, hey, write a 2020 Chucky movie, and somebody did, and then they handed that to a movie studio, and they made it. So if you guys can imagine that plot, you saw the movie.
So these kinds of things get greenlit in Hollywood, but no one's making my black and white DC film.
Exactly. Yes.
Or
Yet the
commish even.
yet the commish just sits there on the fucking top shelf.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad, but it just was, like I said, it's just another horror film. Like I didn't feel like they did anything special. Like it doesn't feel like they had a great idea to come back to do this. They just were given the idea, bring Chucky back, and this is what they came up with. That's how it felt to me, at least. Like it felt like, oh yeah, we were given the work to do and we did it, but didn't feel like a passion or like. But I also have never seen a Chucky movie before, so I don't know if that's just part of what I was missing in this reboot, but yeah, it didn't catch me. So yeah, I watched that, and then yes, I also saw the Hot Ones with Audrey Plaza. That was good. She was promoting Child's Play and Legion, which the 3rd season just came out yesterday. Well, as of our recording, so last week as of this episode coming out. Yeah, so she was pretty funny on Hot Ones because she was handling it pretty well up to a point, and then you could see it just melt right through her defenses, but she still was, I just really enjoyed it, but I thought she
I
was
feel
really
like she
good.
would slap you across the face if she wasn't like winning something. She would literally just clock you and be like, "I'm winning now," and you'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah. No, I
Sorry.
agree, definitely. I think she definitely might do that.
And
Which,
don't get me wrong, I'm actually very okay with that.
yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But only if it's her. I just want to make that clear, just in case. Only she's allowed to smack me in the face. I'll need random people listening to this being like, oh, Scott said I can smack him in the face. No, just the one person. Anyways, and then the last thing I watched, yes, was Legion. I finished rewatching the 1st and 2nd season, and I watched the 1st episode of the 3rd season, which came out last night as of us recording this. And I really like the 3rd season. It's just still being crazy and just like building this mystery up around these characters that somewhat about that from the comics. So I just really enjoy it. Excited to see this season, which is a planned last season. Like I was actually one of the things I learned from Audrey Plaza, it was a quadruple Audrey Plaza week, actually, because I also listened to a podcast with her on it. And during that podcast, she mentioned that Legion was always supposed to be 3 seasons. So I'm really intrigued to watch this 3rd season, knowing that they would always plan to do 3 seasons and not that it got canceled because Disney bought them, bought Fox. So yeah, I'm excited to check out the rest of this season. And then the last thing I watched this week was some more Stargate. Because, I gotta watch something while I'm cooking.
Because why the fuck not? That's why.
Because I still got 5 more seasons to watch. But yeah, that's all I watched this week that I can remember, at least. What did one of you guys watch?
Well, Craig, you said you had quite a bit. Do you want to save the most for last?
I have 5 things on my list.
Okay, I have more than that.
Okay, so I guess I'm going first.
Sounds like it.
All right. I watched some movies this weekend.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, 2 movies, 3 television shows. I guess the first thing we'll do is we always go with the one that I watched before the podcast. This week, it
Brooklyn
was...
Nine-Nine?
Nope, CBC original, Baroness von Sketch Show. Figured I
Ooh.
would give it another shot because I was feeling sketch showish. I was listening to a podcast with Scott Thompson on it earlier, and since Kids in the Hall isn't on Netflix, I had to find something else that wasn't called Monty Python.
When in doubt, love Canada.
Exactly. So why not go with a Canadian sketch show? Funnier than I remember it being. I don't know how that happened because I just picked up where I had left off. So it's not like I skipped forward a couple seasons or anything like that. It was the same, general attitude. Whatever. I watched a couple episodes of The IT Crowd. Accidentally stumbled onto one of my favorites. I don't know if either of you have seen much of the show.
I've never checked it out.
Okay. Well, there are a couple of IT guys in company in England. And so obviously the dominant sport there is soccer. And
Or football, as they call it.
yes, exactly. So the premise of the one episode is that Moss, one of the IT guys, finds an app that will send you relevant phrases about the football matches from the night before, so you can sound like you know what you're talking about. And it even includes a pronunciation guide.
Okay.
And so then they get like really deep in with this group of guys because they were talking at the bar one time and used the football lines. And like they go to a soccer game, and then eventually they get so deep in that they end up Roy ends up helping those guys rob a bank. It's the show has a ridiculous premise all around.
Yeah.
And part of what I like about the show is that it's got Chris O'Dowd in it, and I really like him.
Gotta love those Irishmen.
And it has is it Matt Berry? Toast?
The guy from Toast?
Yeah, it has Toast.
Yes.
He plays the president of the company they work for.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So
Does he do the weird voice?
Oh yes.
Oh,
That's
good.
just Matt Berry. Just
Oh,
in
good.
general.
He does it he's in one episode of Community where he plays a teacher who's trying to teach a class on grifting.
Yeah.
And like he's grifting the students, and then like Jeff is the only one who realizes it's a grift. He's like, it's a grift. And like, no. If we do this, we have to buy this other briefcase and then the fake money to put in the briefcase, and we just pass it back and it's a grift. But he does the voice.
He
I'm
does
like,
it in
fuck
Disenchantment
yes.
too. That animated
He does,
series
yes.
That, he was in for a little bit before he got stabbed in the head.
Stabbed in the head.
So, watched a couple episodes of The IT Crowd. It's always entertaining. My second favorite episode is the episode where they convinced Jen, their relationship manager, that the internet...
Time out. Relationship manager?
So the relationship manager is like the IT manager. They're supposed to be like the
okay.
go-between from the rest of the company and the weirdos in the basement.
Okay. So like they're a weird version of like HR type thing?
Well, kind of. It's just like their manager.
They're
that-
Like they're a mid-level
liaison.
manager.
It's
okay.
the go-between. It's their communication
Okay, liaison.
officer.
Good call, Scott.
Yeah. It's the normal-ish person in the IT office, so that they have a buffer basically from the outside world. But she has to give a presentation, and they convince her that she's been given the internet, and it's a box with a blinking light on it. And no one else knows any different.
Well, I'm on board.
That's
Her,
great,
her last
yeah.
name is Barber, so I'm on
even
board.
that bit is worth looking up on YouTube.
Oh,
and
I've definitely
finding that.
seen some clips from it before. Like, it definitely looks like something worth checking out.
That bit's good. The internet box. And then in one of the episodes I watched this weekend, there's one where she's interviewing for another job because she doesn't like working there anymore. And she goes to another company to work as the IT relationship manager. And she's leaving because it's a hostile work environment because of Matthew Berry's character. That's what it is. So she's interviewing at another place, and the lady who's interviewing is like, "So you know what? I've never really known this, but what does IT stand for?" And that's just the thing for the rest of the episode, is that she can't figure out what IT stands for.
Oh.
That's so sad.
It's just little ridiculous things like that.
Yeah, it's
That's a bummer.
The last TV show that I watched this weekend, we actually started it last night, is called Designated Survivor. Have either one of you checked out this?
I watched the first season when it was on television.
Yes.
now it's on Netflix.
I haven't watched anything since.
Does it maintain its quality past the second episode?
I found it highly, I don't see addictive because that makes me feel like, oh, I gotta tune in every week. But I binged it, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. Like, Kiefer Sutherland is an extremely underrated actor.
Well, that guy's got a voice now. Like an impressive voice.
Yes.
That's what I meant by it. I don't remember him having like a vocal presence in 24.
Yeah, because everything else is just...
Yeah, 24 is more the strong
He was
side.
he was in a Western. I forget what it was called. It was him and his dad were in it, and they were just fighting the whole time. And I was like, this is the fucking worst movie I've ever seen. Now I gotta find out what it's called. But anyways, he was very gruff in that one as well.
Yes. Well, I like
Very
him
just,
in
hey, I'm gonna have to kill this person because I've been through some shit.
I like him in Designated Survivor. I enjoy the show so far. I thought I would hate Cal Penn's character, and I don't.
Isn't he
Cal
playing
Penn
the-
is another guy who's actually got some acting range. He's not just a goofy douche.
Well,
yeah,
and-
but just watching the trailer that they had on Netflix with it, I was like, man, he just seems like he's a uselessly contradictory character. But then he's not past the first episode. And so, I mean, I enjoyed it so far. 2 episodes in.
Yeah, no, I've heard good things. It's just I'm
it's
so out
like
of politics shows right now.
It's like but it's not 100% a politics show. It's not a classic politics show.
Yeah, that's fair.
It feels like, see, the thing that I think they're doing really well with Designated Survivor, here's the guy who's 3 seasons behind.
Yeah.
The thing that they did really well with Designated Survivor is that it feels like it's on the verge of being an action series.
Yeah, it starts off that way.
It's not.
It definitely slows down the road.
It's
it's
not an action series,
Definitely
but it
not.
feels like at any moment it's going to be like, bam! Now we got to go investigate stuff, and it's like, nah, I know that's not it because it's a political drama. But
They keep the
feels-
policing aspect of it up for most of the series, though.
Yeah,
From what I understand.
that's I hope so, because that it's not action packed at all, but it feels like it might be.
It's like a Kiefer Sutherland version of what's it called? Madam Secretary?
I don't know.
Last
Last time I tried to watch a political show was House of Cards,
Yeah.
and I stopped because it was the same thing, over and over. And
Yeah,
over
that's where I
and
got
over
lost
and
on like
over.
the second season somewhere.
That's pretty much it for me too.
It was Madam Secretary. That's what it was called.
But this one doesn't have Kevin Spacey in it, so I can feel good about watching it. Speaking of Kevin Spacey and things that I can't feel good about watching, I watched Baby Driver this weekend,
Oh, nice.
and I liked it.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad movie, minus the Kevin Spacey of the thing, but
You just ignore it. He's
he's not really in that much of it, really.
and
Like,
he's not even that good of
Okay,
a character.
looking
You're not
outside of the
supposed
fact
to-
he's a douchebag, like,
he could
was
literally
his
be,
acting okay?
No, his act. See, that's the thing. Is Kevin Spacey's acting is phenomenal.
Because he is...
That's why
be
I
good people
hate
make
it.
good movies. He is, yeah, because he's such a great fucking actor. He's
That's
just a
the
piece of shit.
That's the problem. Otherwise, I wouldn't care.
Y'all got
Goodbye.
K-Packs?
Please stop making movies if you're going to be a terrible person. But why
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey?
Why did you have to suck
Why did
so
you
bad?
have to be this awful? Because you're a fantastic actor. But anyway, so he was good, but so was the kid, and so was John Hamm.
John Hamm's great in that
It's
one.
John
I love him in
Hamm,
that
okay.
And I liked how the music played a really central. Like, the movie was obviously about sound,
Yeah.
because that's a huge emphasis they make, but they were very subtle about it, and I liked the way that they approached it.
Yeah.
A lot of their timing was based around the music. Every once in a while, they'd slip some tinnitus in there just to make you feel like you were losing your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really great. I actually listened to interview with the director of it, and like about how he, like, it's exactly what you said, like completely like planned that all out, and just how he
I had to
imagined it in
look
his
up
mind.
I had to look up who the director
It's Garrett
was.
Edwards, right?
Baby Driver director. I had to look it up when we started watching it, so I was like, man, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's Edgar Wright. And then
Edgar
I
Wright.
looked up,
That's it.
I
yeah.
looked up the other stuff he did, and I was like, I like that movie.
Hot
I like
Fuzz,
that movie. I like
right?
that movie.
Right, it's
I was
Hot
like,
Fuzz
yeah.
and that
Hot
stuff,
Fuzz,
right? Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. So I was like, yep, this makes sense. This is why I like this.
Yeah.
And that's why I like you. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, that's so good. I'm Matthew Patel.
Yeah, no, he's great. Like,
World's
I
End.
just always get his name mixed up with the other guy.
Yeah. He directed a bunch of movies that I like. So I was like, well, I'll probably really enjoy this. And then I did. The car scenes were really good. I mean, it was what was that other movie that we really liked that came out a while ago? The one where they basically Wheelman.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Real Man,
where
right?
the entire
yeah.
thing was filmed within the car.
With Frank
For the
Grillo,
most
yeah.
part.
Yeah.
The Netflix
Yeah.
one, yeah.
So it wasn't quite that, but their car scenes were still pretty good.
Yeah, no, they did really well. They were like really like well choreographed, and like they're fun. It was a fun movie. Like, that's the way I would describe it. Like, it's just a fun time. Yeah, I watched that a couple months ago when it got added to Crave.
Yeah, I just saw that it was on Netflix, so I was like, well, I didn't see this yet. And so I watched it, and I liked it. And I'll probably watch it again in the next decade. Don't want to watch it too soon.
call. Good
the
call.
last thing that I watched, which I can't believe I did not know came out in 2017, was The House, that Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler movie. Have either of you seen it?
No,
Doesn't do it for me.
It did. So you've seen it, Andrew?
No, like I saw like a bit, and it doesn't do it for me.
Man, it gets
Will
so
Ferrell is just
so
not my
much
guy.
Yeah, he hasn't
better
been my guy
towards the
for a
end.
while.
His character is awful, but everyone else. And
If
their
he's not
brother
if he's
is in
not
that
president
movie.
business or a cop teamed up with Mark Wahlberg,
That was the last time I remember like really enjoying something he did.
yeah, he's not for me. Like I liked him when he played the devil in a SNL comedy sketch with who was it? The comedy guy that's always getting ripped apart, or not the comedy, the country guy who's always getting ripped apart by Tom Segura
Garth
and
Brooks.
Christina P. Garth Brooks, yes. That is the only top 3 things that come to mind that I enjoyed about Will Ferrell. There's a guy named Fred, and he's got a pair of slacks. Ooh, Fred's got slacks. Meow. And that's it.
Well, everybody and their brother is in this movie. Jason Mantzoukas is in this movie. Amy Poehler.
All of a sudden, I don't like him
Kyle
anymore.
Kinane's in this movie.
How dare you? Don't you dare drag these beautiful people's names through the mud.
Nick Kroll's in this movie. The lady who plays the sheriff's deputy on the first season of Fargo and marries Colin Hanks and arrests what's his face? Oh my gosh, doesn't matter. I can't remember. Martin Freeman. She's in this movie. Everybody's in this movie. Everybody. It was pretty entertaining. Jeremy Renner's in this movie. Forgot about him. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It
That's
wasn't
all you
excellent.
can say
The
about
cast
it.
was really good.
This was outside of the cast. This was not a good sell.
It was Jason Mantzoukas was really good in it. Like,
I forgot what we were
was
talking about while you were
cast-
listing the cast.
He was cast perfectly.
Is he crazy again?
He's insane, and it's awesome.
If I ever see him in a role outside of the John Wick movies where he's not like just crazy all the time, I don't even think I'm gonna like him.
Yeah.
Well, he like in John Wick 2 and John Wick 3, he plays a crazy guy, but he's also like not crazy. He's trying to act like a crazy homeless guy.
He's pretending to be a crazy guy, and so
but even just so he can keep his eyes on it. But then he's still doing what he does.
Yeah, even when he's
I can almost guarantee that the Jay character on Big Mouth is based around him as a teenager when he used to fuck his pillows. Like, that seems like a very Jason Mantzoukas thing to do.
He's 40.
Like he was like 36, living at home, and his mom walked in on him. He's like, "Mom, get out of here! Fucking Daphne!" And Daphne's just a pillow that's been like sewn at the top with like a plastic bag inside with some lotion and just says Daphne on it. A little too in depth makes it seem like I've done that shit.
it's a terrifying thought.
That was very descriptive. That's
I
all
have
I
not.
watched this week. So why don't you regale us with tales of
Okay,
your obviously superior list?
it is pretty superior, but I've got some bad news, Craig. Did you know there's a TV show called The Commish?
I refuse to believe it if it doesn't have
Our cast in it?
yeah. Pretty much
Well, it's about a
everybody.
police commissioner.
Well, I don't care then. It's not about the NFL commissioner.
Yeah, that would have been way better. But nope, it's got Michael Chiklis in it. I started to watch like 4 minutes. I was like, you know what? This is a show I'm gonna have to binge watch. This is gonna be a slow burn, so I stopped. But then I started watching The Night Manager.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to check
Prime
that
with
out.
Tom Hiddleston. The first episode, I felt like I was watching a movie. It was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
The second episode, I'm not all the way through it yet, but it's a real slow show, but in a good way, where you're like, oh, it's building towards something. This is great. Not just like, fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
But that I'm really enjoying it. Started watching it just for something to do while Kendall was marking at Starbucks yesterday. So I was like, okay.
Is it the Starbucks in Peterborough?
Yes, the one where the employees do drugs. Where
Allegedly.
we are right now, allegedly.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I highly recommend The Night Manager if you guys want to sit down and just like watch something that's gonna like keep you focused, because it's got Hugh Laurie in it as well.
Yeah, that's what actually had sparked my curiosity, was the fact
Yeah,
that Hugh
it's got-
Laurie was in it.
It's got Hugh Laurie. It's got that chick who played the Queen in that really terrible movie that came out last year.
Olivia Colman.
Sure, that sounds familiar.
Mary Queen of Scots? Is that the movie?
Nope. This is the one.
No, The Favorite.
With The Favorite.
That's
the
what it was.
one.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was Mary Queen of Scots who was in The Favorite.
Yeah.
No, or something like that. No, never mind.
No.
I don't have no idea what I'm
The
talking
Favorite, yeah, fucking awful movie. But her character is pretty gangsta in The Night Manager. So highly recommended watch.
about. Is that one on Amazon?
That's on Amazon, yep.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Definitely watch it. I stand by it. So this was actually a week where I watched a lot of like one episodes of a couple things and just like didn't make it farther than that. So I watched one episode of The Night Manager in a little bit, but that's because I didn't have time to continue.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of season 14 of Grey's Anatomy because I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. I was into it when I stopped. Maybe I'll like it again. And trying to dive into that show when you're not like just committed to just getting it done and over with.
Yeah, you can't tip your...
It's the equivalent of like what would really happen if Scrooge McDuck jumped off of a diving board into gold coins. You just crash. Because that show is fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's what happened to me after
Someone
like, a
needs to
season.
sit down and explain to me why it's so compelling for people who just cry and think it's the best show. What's believable about it?
Oh, that doesn't play into it at all. Like, these are people... This is one of those shows where it's like hyper dramatized for people who have so little going on in their lives.
Everybody's fucking everybody.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, so it's like people who love that stuff, though, are people who don't have that stuff in their life. So it's like, married moms who, wish that their life was a little bit more sexy, like Meredith Grey or whoever. You know
that bitch got 3 kids. You know how many times you see her kids in the last couple seasons? You fucking don't. They pop up here and there, and that is it.
Do you not understand how that's exactly what their demo sees themselves as, though? Like, their demo has 3 kids and just wants to be fucking all these doctors.
That's true. They want to be Instagram parents where they just have kids to brag about having kids, but not actually parent them.
Yes.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy is shit.
Yeah, it's garbage.
So
but we both watched 10 plus seasons of it.
13. I crushed 13 seasons.
Yeah, no, I
and all I gotta say is, thank God I met Kendall, and I stopped watching it. Kendall, my love, you saved me from just a season of garbage. So another show that I watched one episode of Tap the Fuck Out of was Mr. Iglesias.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I walked into Sam's mom's house last night after getting a wonderful therapeutic massage, and I heard about 2.5 minutes, maybe at most, of that show, and already decided I didn't want to watch it. Didn't see any of it. Didn't have to be in the room. I heard like a joke, and I was like, nope, that's all I needed of that. So tell me, did I make the right decision?
You did. Did you ever watch the George Lopez show?
Yeah, I like the
or see any of it?
Spurts.
Okay, you know how that show was good?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one's not.
That's
This one is just...
It features
like
Gabriel Iglesias in a sitcom. What more do you want?
5 minutes in, you're like, they've done every single sitcom trope there's ever been.
And it's only 5 minutes into the first episode of the first season.
Yeah, like 5 minutes through it, they've already introduced him, one of his know-it-all students, one of his dumb students, and the rest of the students are just there. They've introduced the principal who's like, ooh, I can be cool. And everyone's like...
So they ripped off Mr. D?
Kind of. And then after that, they bounce over to him meeting introducing the other faculty. And there's a guy like going through an envelope of cash or something like that. It was either cash or him like touching food. Something. It was something you're not supposed to do. And then he's just like, oh, what? I just caught you doing this? Like, just real corny. And it just makes me wonder, like, why wasn't there someone else in the writer's room? Like,
this is a Netflix original, right?
Yeah, Netflix has. Let's be
Netflix
real. They have some
checks.
pretty decent shows out there.
Yeah, but they never check.
But this is just.
Joe Rogan famously has said a couple times that like he sends their stuff and they give no feedback. They don't give him any notes. He just goes and films a thing, and it's done. And it's like, okay, no, I can believe that he had an idea, what he thought was a great idea for a sitcom, and then teamed up with a up and coming writer. Nice way to say amateur writer. And they came up with a cliche run-of-the-mill sitcom, which is why I don't watch sitcoms like at all anymore, because they all feel that way to me.
Rewatching Friends, I felt that way. Like, everything just seemed so lazy. Every episode was like, it had different plot lines, but also
in
just
their
the
defense,
same shit.
they
and the same with How I Met Your Mother, and the same with Seinfeld.
Well, Seinfeld and Friends were doing it at the same time, and those two were revolutionary at the time because they were the first ones to have ensemble cast that wasn't like a family. It was a friends, like literally, it was a group of friends as opposed to a family that you were following around. Or like
every episode has the same, like their version of tropes.
Yeah.
And I feel like sitcoms they peaked with George Lopez, and then just like, don't get me wrong, I loved some How I Met Your Mother, but like, there's some corny ass shit in there that just doesn't add up.
Yeah, it was definitely funnier when we were teenagers.
I want a sitcom that's also kind of realistic, where you're like, oh man, me and my girl got in a fight, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, see, that's not funny though.
No, but
it's
you know what I
funnier.
mean? Like, I don't want like shit blown out of proportion where it's just not going to happen all the time. Like, I want something a little more
grounded.
Realistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't help you.
Speaking of realistic, I watched Bad Blood Season 2.
Okay. Oh, damn.
Holy shit. That show, if it doesn't win all of the awards,
Interesting.
It's so good.
Well, now I've got to finish it.
You have to. It is incredible Canadian television. They expand outside of just like Quebec and Montreal specifically, and they head out, and now they've got some Ontario aspects involved.
Ooh.
I know, we're growing. Canada's growing.
I'm gonna feel like I'm at home all of a sudden.
Kim Coates is such an incredible actor for what he portrays. Like, he's not well-rounded, but like what he does so well. I started the season in a couple situations where I'm like, you know what? If he doesn't yell and go, "Why? No!" I was going to be real disappointed. And you know what they do? They give it to you. They make you wait, but they serve it up to you on this beautiful silver platter of him just doing what he does best, and that's kind of groveling because he does it perfectly. But he is also scary as shit to look at.
Yep.
But also a real nice dude.
Absolutely.
Shook his hand once. Real nice guy. So I highly recommend watching Bad Blood Season 2. Scott, I recommend watching Bad Blood Season 1.
That's a very excellent place to start.
That's where my oh shit came from when you mentioned the second season. I'm like, damn it. I remember we
of
talked
those
about this like
shows-
2 weeks ago.
I didn't think it was going to have a second season. I didn't need a second season.
I don't know how much is legit, how they tie it in. Like the first
I'm
season and
sure
with the second.
they're
Like,
making
it's
it
got to
up.
be a hell of a stretch, but it also still like covers what's going on. Like in season 2, they're talking about like the Italian like coke trade, specifically out of like Hamilton and Guelph and shit,
He's
and how
such a
they're
good
trying,
narrator too.
and how and how they're trying to expand in. They want to expand into Declan's territory, so Kim Coates in Montreal, because these two cousins of the family from over in Italy come over, and they're like, "This is what the boss wants." I don't know why I made him Russian. I can't do an Italian accent, so we
That's
are
not
going to
Mario.
talk like this.
That was good enough for me.
But
It was your
they come over and they're like, "So what we're gonna do is you're gonna buy your Coke, you're gonna like take this bit out, you're gonna put 2 grains of fentanyl in it, and then you're gonna cut it with other stuff. You're gonna make more money. You're gonna sell more." And then like the drug dealers here, they're like, "No, like people are gonna like our customers are gonna die. Kids are gonna try it and die. No." And I was like, good for you, drug dealers. Good for you guys knowing what's going on
Having
and not
some
wanting
morals.
to. Yeah, and I like it. Like I do accept that. Like organized crime is never going anywhere until we get like Judge Dredd out there, and even then, it doesn't really get rid of organized crime in those movies. He just kills a bunch of fucking people.
Just makes it a different type of organization. It just
Yeah.
crime always just shifts from one place to another.
Yep. But I do like the ones who kind of have like the moral high ground where they're like, "No, we're not gonna mix it with the fentanyl." That was my best like Godfather. I can't do an Italian accent.
No, it's completely escaping you.
Yeah, I can't.
See, like I said,
Like,
I wouldn't.
there's some I can do by saying
a
a phrase and jump starting it into it.
like
Top of the morning
stereotypical.
to ya. Like, you know, you can do like certain phrases and then like fall into it.
Well,
but
if you want to go for really bad stereotype, you could go with the Mario. That's how I would start it. You know, it's me, Mario. I'm not gonna
it's
do
a me,
it.
a Mario.
There you go.
I can't. Oh, there we go. I got it. So we're going to cut it with the fentanyl. No, I can't
No,
do
back
that.
to
It was too cartoonish. But then the family's like,
Vowel sound.
sounds. Hey,
That's an
Family
Italian
Guy.
accent.
You're lucky I got manigot in the oven, or I'll bash your face into a bolognese. That's 2 kinds of food. That's how mad I am. This race has always been a ridiculous people. Anyways, so they wanted to cut the fentanyl in, and they're like, no. But then they're like, we're gonna fucking do it anyway. And then you got super greedy, like next generation Italian family who's like, I kind of want to do it. So yeah, some shit goes down. It's a fucking good season. Like it's mostly surrounded around like Declan trying to be like a one-man army and like figure his shit out while tearing these guys down and also like protecting what's his. But definitely check it out. And if you weren't intending on it, just fucking do it, Scott. Just do it.
It might. I don't know. There's so much to watch. It might get there eventually.
So
I'm not saying I won't. I'm just not saying I'm 100% going to.
I highly recommend it. Okay,
Yeah,
it is.
I know.
It is so much better than Sons of Anarchy, and that show sucked me in.
I still gotta get to that too. Okay.
Bad Blood is just, and I think it's because it's Canadian. I just love
Yeah.
some Canadian content.
Yeah.
If you're gonna show
I
me
know
something,
that place.
Yeah, if you're gonna show me, I'd be like, "This is Hamilton." I'd be like, "Oh shit,
It is.
that's Hamilton."
That looks suspiciously like Detroit.
The Detroit of Canada. But anyway, so I also watched Beast Wars, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Had a little bit of stoned inspiration to do a binge watching at brunch and realized I was too baked to handle that, guys.
Yeah.
So apologize for you not getting that content. I tried. I set this shit up in the kitchen. It looked pretty good. And then I talked about how Optimus Primal is an ancestor who's there to guard Optimus Prime for like 5 minutes
I think you should have kept
on loop.
You should have done that. Like,
Yeah, but then I would have ended up on Ellen.
this is the kind of content that people want. How is
That's
that
what I
a
tried
bad
to tell
thing?
him. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
gotta take
That's
time
what I'm
off work to
saying.
go see Ellen.
I even offered to edit it.
I'm
Oh
pretty
my
sure Ellen
gosh.
isn't. I'm pretty sure Ellen isn't gonna write a check to cover my daily earnings.
Who cares?
she'll fly you out.
Because then I gotta tell her how much I earn, and then you got certain agencies who are gonna be like,
And she'll
why does
tell a
Ellen think you
comedian.
get paid this?
you just do a.
she'll send
you
the
just do
camera
a
crew.
You just do a Skype interview, man.
Yeah,
Like, it's not
exactly.
hard.
Yeah, but that's
We're doing
lame.
it
If
right
I'm gonna be
now.
on Ellen, I want to be on Ellen. I want to shake her hand and be like, my cat loved you in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory.
I'll go cut hair for a day. I'll take a
How
vacation
dare you?
day.
You
I'll
don't know
cut
what
hair.
I do.
Yeah, me and Craig will both take the day off.
Fuck
to
you
cover
guys. I can't do
if
your
you
job.
get
You
on
can't
Ellen.
do my job. I sure as shit can't do your job, Craig.
You can go do my job. You just gotta sit at a computer for 8 hours.
I would
See,
love
Ted,
to
you're
see
working
you guys
exactly
try
the
and
same as mine.
I would love to see you guys try and do my job. You know what? Fuck this. Ellen, I'm coming.
Well, I think me and Craig could do your job, not to the same
It would not be
level
well.
of quality.
That's what
It
I'm
would not be
saying.
well.
we could
Like,
cut hair. It wouldn't be well cut hair, but we could cut hair.
Do you want your hair buzzed to the exact same length all the way around? Don't
No?
come see
Well,
me
too bad.
because it probably won't be.
Do you want no like little like what's those marks called? You know, bald spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come to me.
I didn't change the attachment on the clippers, but somehow you have.
You want a
two
number
different
4?
lengths.
This says 2. Good enough. Why
cut
why
their
is
whole
this
thing with
why
one of those
is
ones
this
that are,
part
like,
so much
crooked,
longer?
like,
do it.
around ears.
I'll just do it 2 twice. It's 4.
Math, motherfuckers. So I watched Beast Wars. I also watched Couples Retreat. And that movie was pretty good.
Sorry, what movie? I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Couples Retreat
Oh my gosh.
with Vince Vaughn, the chick who plays Charlotte on Sex and the City, the guy who plays Happy in Iron Man,
Oh, John Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Yeah. Who else is in it? It's also got Jason Bateman. It's got the chick from Good Place. I'm terrible with names right now.
Which chick from Good Place?
The main one.
Oh, Kristen Bell.
Eleanor.
Kristen
Yeah,
Bell.
Kristen Bell. Who else is there? Who am I missing? Oh, I'm missing. Was it the Silk Spectre or whatever her name is from Watchmen? She also played the blonde who was married to the freaky looking dude who played the guy in Happy, who in Harold and Kumar.
Oh, yeah. So
You know who I'm
it's
talking about.
crazy that I
Kinda
know the
pan-faced.
connection you just made.
You know
to it.
exactly. Yeah. Okay, the guy who played Happy,
Yeah.
the guy who played like the colonel or whatever in
The-
Man of Steel,
Yeah.
the guy who was also in SVU.
Yeah, what's his... Oh, I'm
He
forgetting his
plays
name.
Freak Show. That's his name in Kumar. He plays Freak Show.
Yeah.
His wife is the one who shows her cans. Actually, she shows her cans in like everything. She also played the rock star journalist person who hooks up with Stacey Jacks in Rock of Ages. That was his name, right? Stacey Jacks?
None of this is helping me.
I can't remember Rock of Ages that well. I'm trying to look up Christopher Maloney. That's his name. I thought so.
Yes,
That's his
the
name.
one.
Yeah, that's the guy who plays Freak Show.
Yeah, I was just trying.
Anyways,
to remember
her name is Malin Ackerman.
Yeah, I was not going to remember that.
And Fouls on Love, and then is this the one? Yeah, Callie Hawk plays a super sassy black lady. It's pretty cool. Kristen Davis, that's what I was thinking of, the one who plays Charlotte. Anyways, they go on a couples retreat. It's a pretty decent movie, pretty funny. Definitely saw it in high school. I want to say Adam Carey was there for some reason.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah. Anyway, so the only other things I watched this week were a couple of comedy specials. I watched a Brian Callen show on
We don't want to watch that. On Amazon?
On Prime. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I really like his style of comedy.
Same, yeah.
He kind of reminds me. I gotta try to think of a good combination here. Like, he's funny like Robin Williams, where he's like constantly kind of like moving around and like he has energy.
Yeah, a little bit physical. Yeah.
But then he's kind of like points out like the truths, and I'm trying to. I had a good like combination the other day when I was driving listening to him. But I'm trying to remember who the other one is, because he doesn't really tell stories all that much. He just makes like legitimate real life comparisons. Like, there's one bit where he's talking about how one of his friends who owns a construction company hired this illegal immigrant, Mexican gentleman, to work for him, and he's an unbelievable worker. Like, he dug a pool in an afternoon by himself, was the story. And he's like, I gotta, let's give this guy a green card. Like, I'll marry him if I have to, type thing. Mm-hmm. But the main part of his joke was like, it was so weird, guys. Like, I got up to this guy, I talked to him, and like up close, he looked so human. And I was like, that's a good joke about borders. I like that.
Yeah, no, he's great like that.
I think he's hilarious. What'd you say, Craig?
I said political commentary.
Yeah. But, like, also, like, he's not in your face about it either. He's very, like, the world is a fucked up place. I don't know everything. Like, he does a joke at the end where he comes across real douchey. Like, his big closer is how, like, he knows everything about nutrition. He's like, I school my doctor on stuff. Like, I know about insulin. I know that your body... And he just tears it apart. And he's on a flight. And this woman comes and sits beside him, who, she's bigger than most. And she immediately starts flipping through tabloid magazines. So he passes her over like you're supposed to, people like that. You're supposed to let them just live their life. Which, the way he delivers it, I was like, that's a good joke, too. Because you're like, rather than being a dick, just let them be.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to change anything.
Never.
But it goes through, and, like, he kind of shit-talks her. The flight's delayed, so they're giving out cookies. So she takes his cookies, and then she drinks some cranberry juice. And he's like, in 20 minutes, your body's going to be so tired of producing insulin, you're going to take a nap. 20 minutes later... She passes out. My pancreas, sound asleep. That's exactly how he does it.
Yeah, no, I can
but
imagine.
But then there's an emergency on the plane, and she ends up being like an ER nurse, and she's over there and she saves the day, and like he's like, holy shit, and then she breaks it down that she's like, I recognized you. You're a movie star, aren't you? He's like, yeah, I'm a movie star. It's like, I was trying to find you in these tabloid magazines. These magazines are fucking stupid. He's like, oh, well, what did you do for that girl back there? She's like, she just needed some sugar. And then, like, his really humbling final punchline of the whole show was, yeah, so I don't know shit about nutrition. And it's like a 10-minute bit leading up to that. And I was like, oh, good for you, Brian Callen. You are the right man.
Yeah, no,
you're able to admit your flaws on a stage, which most of them don't do. I feel like a lot of cocky comedians are just like, I'm the best, you're not.
Yeah, he does a great job of like acting like he gives off the idea like he's pretending to be like cocky sometimes.
Like he wants to be like Joe Rogan, but he's also like, I'm just another fucking dude.
Yeah, but I'm not exactly. He's like, but I'm just an average skinny white dude, and that's obviously why I'm still trying to think
of. Yeah, I'm still trying to think of the other comedian who like I compare him with, because like he's a great comedian. I wish he had more content.
The style I would like say close, like not direct comparison, but would be like similar to George Carlin in that they talk about stuff as opposed to like stories about themselves. Like they're talking about big
which
topics.
is weird because I generally prefer the stories.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I think it's the fact that he's almost got like a Tony Robbins kind of thing going for him, where he's like
he's charismatic.
Where he's charismatic, but he's also like giving like realistic points of view.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, you're over here and you're over there. I'm trying to like bring you here. He's more like, well, fuck, you suck, I suck.
Yeah.
Let's just have a suck fest.
Yeah, definitely. No, I want to check out that one. I've been meaning to it, but because I've been
I highly recommend it. Even if you just download it and listen to it on your trek into the workplace.
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
Definitely will be doing that.
He has, I forget them off the top of my head, but there's a couple bits where I actually laughed while driving. And they weren't even that funny jokes. They were just things that I was like, he's so fucking right.
Yeah, and that's why I really enjoy it, because I listen to his podcast every week, and so like I get plenty of him listening to but I really enjoy it too because I just enjoy his style. It's a little sarcastic and like well informed as the other thing.
He's just a guy living life. That's how it comes across to me. He kind of jokes about his wife. He's like, I wish I had children with a darker woman. My people, they're Italian and Irish. They're good for serving. But then my wife, she's a Viking. She's got a long femur bone. If we had to fight in the snow, she would kick my ass. She's too pale. That's what I'm saying. I wish my children were a little bit darker. So the other thing I watched was Adam Devine, his new.
So I watched about 5 minutes of that, and I did not like any of it. So
I really liked falling asleep to it.
It's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind it. It wasn't the funniest. It was clearly his real first shot at a comedy special.
He's
and a lot of his jokes.
Right?
Yeah. A lot of his jokes felt recycled by someone else. Like someone told a joke, they didn't like it, and just gave it to him. But it wasn't the worst special I've ever watched. It definitely wasn't the best. Great to fall asleep to, though. Because it took me 4 tries to actually listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a great endorsement. But I also am not that surprised because he wasn't a comedian before, right? Like he's always just been a
comedy he was just a
actor.
Goofy. He was a YouTuber, is what it was. He was a goofy YouTuber. That's what Workaholics was.
Oh, is that how I didn't know it started off as a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Or that sort of thing, like an online stupid
web series
video that got bought out by by Comedy Central.
Shit, I didn't know that. That's cool. But
Andrew knows some stuff.
But yeah, exactly. So he's not.
Or I was told that, whether or not it's true or not.
Yeah,
I might be out here preaching the wrong shit, but I was informed.
But still, stand up is different from comedic acting or sketch acting. You can't act. Well, you can act a sketch out on stage, but it's not the same. So, yeah, no, I'm not surprised. And the way you're describing it makes me reminds me of a couple other actors that were in that similar thing, or they just got big from a TV show and they tried to get into it and they could afford to pay writers to make them write them jokes, and that's what they're delivering. So I'm not saying that's what Adam Devine did, but I'm saying that's what it sounds similar to just from what you said.
His jokes weren't that good. They were funny enough, but they were also very vanilla. You could see that he didn't have a full attachment to what he was saying.
Yeah, that's
his funniest bits were about kind of self-deprecating, where he's yeah, people recognize me in places and be like, oh my god, is it? Fuck, it's not him. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And those were the funniest. Or he does a bit about, I forget how it goes, but he does a bit about gays. And how he doesn't really care, but his dad is one of those guys who thinks that all gay guys are trying to fuck him.
Okay.
But then his punchline attached to it is and you guys don't know anything about my dad, but they're not. And that was probably the best joke of the special.
Yeah, I could see how he could deliver that.
Yeah, because it's it's a very middle-aged, conservative white guy train of thought. Oh, I don't like this because what if they do it to me? Get the fuck out of here, man. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it sounds like he maybe didn't come up with it himself, or maybe he
Oh, for
got
sure.
a
I
room
wouldn't be
of writers
surprised.
to like help
The
him.
whole thing screams like they're like, oh, this guy's recognizable.
Yeah.
He's done like 3 other things for Netflix. He signed his 5-thing contract like John Malkovich did.
Yeah.
And or Ali Wong and all these other people who are in everything Netflix puts out recently. So he probably like, well, I have to do something. I don't want to keep making movies, so time to do a comedy special, I guess.
And it's cheaper to do a comedy special. You got to pay for a room.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
one-
You got to pay
2
for
cameras.
yeah, you got to pay for a couple cameras, the crew to film it, and your director. That's it. You're not paying
and some
cast.
editing at the end.
yeah.
Not even that much. Little
Yeah.
snip at the front, snip at the end.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it.
So that's all you watched this week.
That's all I watched this week, boys.
So that brings us to the end of another episode of Forgot to Grow Up.
The 90th.
The 90th Forgot to Grow Up. 90 weeks in. That's a weird.
On our 100th episode, does the Queen give us a certificate to commemorate us?
Definitely not. But
Well, I mean,
we can hope. We can write to her. We are Canadians, so she'll at least
that's
take our
it.
mail.
That's it.
I got a passport from her.
Dear Queenie.
Anyway. Guess we'll talk next week, guys.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Check in next week for our conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Right, conspiracy theories.
TV and movie conspiracy theories. 'Cause we're not getting into aliens.
No, we're doing all the other stuff.
Oh, I'm doing aliens.
Oh, we're doing all conspiracy theories then?
Oh, yeah,
No.
everything.
Everything.
This
Did you guys hear
podcast
that
is official.
Sasquatch is actually Ted Bundy? Whoa. Bye, guys.
Bye.